both arguments and fear, because Nigeria is getting close to a time to elect a new president. All right. So, but before I proceed, the problem we have is that if all of us are in this country called Nigeria, right? And then in this 2026, that is, we are using to prepare for 2027 to elect a new president that will lead Nigeria to a greater position, to a greater site, to a greater fulfillment of the Nigerian beliefs and anticipations and their hope. Now, if these two major parties have formed a kind of big rivalry, the problem is the individuals, the citizens of the country. All of us are in this country together, and then you can see how difficult things are. People, though I'll still drop a video that shows sometimes how we are being deceived, how we are being distracted from the reality facing us. You can see the City Boys movement organized by one of the biggest party, the leading party, mostly in the southeast, and people are seeing it like a major threat to somebody whom we are all looking forward to see, and we are all panicking, but I'm not panicking. And here is my reason. If those big men, they formed what they call the Big Boys movement in the southeastern of Nigeria, if they form the big ally they call the City Boys, the City Boys are made up of the billionaires, the young billionaires in southeastern Nigeria, which people are being scared that they could make people to lose the interest and focus on whatever the decision they want to take. Now, we shouldn't bother about any people forming any group, organization called Big Boys movement. That should not be the problem. The problem we have is the individuals. Now, during election, all of us are equal. We all have one vote. I have one vote to cast. Obi Kubana has one vote to cast. Chief Priest have one vote to cast. Zenko has one vote to cast. All those big boys, they all have one vote to cast. All right, thank you. Maybe you sent 1 billion. I'm not seeing any reflection here, so thank you so much. And I will appreciate that if I see that. RP Bros. So thank you. I will appreciate that if I see that. But I never saw anything. I will appreciate if you give me in my life. Thank you so much. But now, coming back to my point, you see, I have always said it. Forget any background. Forget fancy background. Those big men, they look out for all those deals so that their businesses could be protected in any part of the country it should be. We shouldn't make any mistake of that. Now, we, the poor masses, the poor ones, we shouldn't be used to do this game. Of course, we know that politics is all about a game of numbers, game of interest. So I'm not against anybody forming any ally. Because currently, Nigeria, of course, normally, we knew how it was in 2023. In 2003, in Nigeria election, to elect a new president in a country, you see people, because you have decided that you want to support A, and because somebody gives you ₦1, you have decided to live your own conscience. That is the problem we have as Nigerians. I would say because of poverty, because of illiteracy. You can't tell me as I am like this. I have decided my mind based on my own assessments. I have been in this country. I have seen how difficult these things are. And somebody from somewhere who has influence, who has money, will not approach me and ask me, take this and vote for this person. Come on, why should I listen to such a person? The person never cared about my living. The person never cared about my survival for the rest of the 3 years, for the rest of the 4 years, because each tenure is 4 good years. After 4 good years, you never helped my life. You never helped the public. And then during the election, you now come with your money, with your resources, and tell me to abandon what I have seen within the 4 years. I shall abandon it and vote for your candidate. Because you not give me money, you not induce me. That is the problem, money inducement, which is a crime in Nigeria. But you will see people, because of impunity, because of the arrogance, because of the money they have, they can do anything and get free with that and get through. But the problem, as I have said, is the individuals, we the citizens. If I can reject this and stand on my feet and stand on what I want, then these ones, they will not know that the power they say lies on the people. The power lies on the people, not on those individuals. So they are afraid to form any ally they want. The allies of the big men club, the allies of rich club men, any ally let them form. But the problem is there are some part of Nigeria that is very, very low, very, very undeveloped. They are not on social media. Social media is not for them. And those ones they can see every time, they don't tell them the truth. They don't tell them how things are. They've been deprived of internet access. They've been deprived of education. They've been deprived of many things, especially in the northern part of the country, where education is very, very poor, very, very low. You hardly see people who could say, yes, they know what they're really doing. So when these politicians come with their canvassers, they go to those places, give them little things, and convince them against their own faith, against what they have seen. All right, I think, okay, I posted that on my Facebook, but I'll still post a video here. You see, I have always pitied people. I've always pitied us. If somebody could give you, let's say, 20,000 naira, just for a day, for you to cast your particular vote for this person, right? That money, how long is it going to serve you and it will finish? How long? Obviously, the country is hard. It can't even serve you more than 5 days. It can't. So, and sometimes they may just give you just 5 naira, that's 5,000 or 2,000 naira or 3,000 naira or 4,000, depending on the money that the so-called agents want to distribute. Because during election, they spend a whole lot of money. They spend a whole lot of money in trying to lobby people, to lure people, to deceive people into doing something they want, not what the masses want. But that's why I said, we Nigerians, we are the problem. We, the Nigerians, we are the problem. The citizens, we are the problem. Not the few. How many are there in numbers? Those ones that have those money, how many are there in numbers? They can't outweigh the number of masses who are suffering. So, the essence of what I'm trying to say is, we shouldn't be bothered about billionaires supporting a particular person. We should be bothered about what did he encounter within the 4 years, the first 4 years, the first tenure. What did you encounter? What was your standard of living? Things you could buy with 2 naira in last 4 years. Can you still buy those things at the same price now? These are things you should ask yourself and then make choices by yourself. You should ask yourself, the insecurities that are ravaging the country currently, people hardly travel in Nigeria. Movement is so difficult because you are so scared of your life. People could abduct you, people could kidnap you, people could take you on the road while traveling. Nobody is safe to make movements in the country. People are not safe. So it's all those things that people should consider in a government, not about people that have money. Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. So people should be considered and not the elites, The elite, okay, let's make it make sense. In this country, Nigeria, our politicians, 90% or 98% of them, all their children, all their immediate relatives, they are all abroad, they are all outside, doing their studies, living very, very well. They are not in this country suffering together with us. But when the election comes, they will not come to use you and I to retain themselves in the office. That's the most annoying aspect of the whole thing. We know, okay, now look at the Senate, the Nigerian Senate. Few days ago, they tried to amend our Electoral Act. Now, what was the demand for this Electoral Act? First of all, the Nigerian masses demanded so bitterly that Nigerian government should allow electronic voting, in the sense that if people vote, they should be able to transfer or transmit their electoral result from the polling unit. Mind you, in the previous years, after they have voted, they will carry the results to another place. They call it collation of results. They will not transmit the result at the polling unit where the voters are say currently. They will carry it. Then the process of carrying the votes from their unit to another office, some things go wrong. They mutilate, they change some figures to the favor of somebody they want win. Well, the person that the masses may need, of course, you know what should happen to that person. They reduce, they cancel, sometimes they eliminate, they put zero. All those things were what we saw in 2023 election. And the masses saw obviously that not what they voted that they saw. They now kept on making demand, asking our Nigerian Senate to make amendments. Now, after they have made amendments, the problem here is they accepted electronic transfer of results, but they added another loophole. They added a gap, a channel, just a small narrow way that can help them to do their normal reading, which was giving an alternative to electronic transmission. That alternative is very, very wrong. Should they? Nigeria is the aggregate of the individuals who compose it. Okay, the character and the destiny of Nigeria grows out of the thought, habits, and morals of its people. So don't let that's very good. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to say. Nigeria is made up of its citizens, right? Very good. Now, when you come to the citizens have made their demand, and the demand of the citizens is simple, just one demand, and that demand is, please allow results to be transmitted in the real time, not afterwards, not after voting. You will not carry the results from the polling unit into some offices before transmitting them. We believe that there are some changes between the time interval between the polling unit and those offices. So we don't need the results to get into offices before uploading them. Based on our previous experiences, Nigerians need free, fair, and credible elections. Nigeria is a great country. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. Nigeria is so rich in minerals, so populated, so intellectual. Nigerians are so brilliant, so beautiful. More youths, we have vibrant youths. But the problem is selfishness, and then allowing ourselves to be used by those politicians. We allow ourselves to be used by those politicians, those greedy politicians. Yes, we could believe that there are some who are still okay, they still reason with the masses, but majority of them, no. Again, Nigeria culture resides in the hearts of hearts and in the soul of the people. Thank you, these people. If the people are ready for a change, it will happen. Thank you so much, Victor Augustine. That is the problem I'm lamenting. And that's the essence of me, because I have decided that we have our election is coming up next year by February 20th, but it has already started heating up. So, and I am a youth. I have decided to use my platforms, my various social media platforms like the Facebook, the YouTube, the other social media handles to help to evangelize, enlighten, and caution people. Let us have our consciences. Let us just be sincere with ourselves and avoid the temptation and the sin of the crime of being induced by some individuals who have the money. What is money? What is money? Because of your own interest, because of your own personal interest, you will not betray millions of people. Because of selfish interest, you will not betray your lineage, your children to come. Some of us who might have not gotten married now, they may get married tomorrow or before the year runs out, and in the next 4 years they begin to give birth to children, to kids. So you should do something that you should be very proud of before your kids, before your relatives. Don't disappoint them, don't sell them. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. Nigeria problem is the citizens. Our politicians that are not more in number than the common citizens. But the problem I've always said is the problem of poverty and selfishness. Many Nigerians are very poor, they are very, very poor, and therefore anything they see, just give them any small thing. Some of them, they will begin to dance according to your tune. They begin to believe on what you are saying. And they forget that a country is most sweet, most livable when the government of the people is better. I don't know if you are getting the point. A country is sweet. Okay, most of African countries, let me say Nigeria, most Nigerians, they try so hard. They pray, they fast, they make connections to make sure that they travel to US, Canada, UK, many other countries, Germany, just mention them. Why are they trying to go to those countries if those countries are not working? Just take it. But Nigeria has what it takes to develop itself. Nigeria has gold. Nigeria has lithium. Nigeria has uranium. Nigeria has lead. Nigeria has oil. Nigeria is rich. Our land, our farmlands are so rich. But do you know the problem? Our farmlands are rich, but farmers can't go to their farms because of what? Bandit, terrorism. People kidnap. People take people and ask for money. They ask for something in exchange. Our government, they don't do anything. Even when they release those songs, they don't. How can you release people from captivity without any exchange of gunshots, without any exchange of gunfire? How come? Do you work together with those bandits? Do you work together with those terrorists? Those people that take people, do you work together with them? How do you not go to their den? Okay, you can imagine what kind of story is that in a state. You will see that, okay, Nigeria doesn't have what it takes to develop on its own. I don't know if you're a Nigerian, but I don't know. But I can tell you, what Nigeria needs is good governance. If Nigeria gets good leaders who can work diplomatically and make the better use of what they have, come on, Nigeria can make lives better. But how can you tell me that a country like Nigeria, you keep borrowing money, borrowing loan from World Bank, from Arab countries, from China, still the majority of the people are living under poverty. Majority are living under poverty. How can you explain that? Okay, let me talk again. In the budget allocation of 2024, that 2024, the budget allocation of 2025, they are not still implemented, not all of them. 2 years outstanding budgets. They are not being fulfilled, but they sign those things into law. They pass the bill. So what can you say? Whose problem? Not the problem of government. Government should, two major things government should do: protect your citizens' lives and properties. Lives and properties. So now, as our election is coming, our electionary year is coming, these are the things that we should try to consider. Who among them? So for now, I'm not telling anybody vote for this, vote for that, but I always want people to use their consciences. We are all human beings, so we have a conscience. So we should work by conscience, not by conviction of somebody else. So yes, my dear, poverty is not new to mankind, but sometimes you see that some corrupt government officials, they try to use the poverty to enslave the masses, the citizens, so that those citizens should be doing what they want. Do you believe with me? In a country, okay, see it here now. In this country, if government could do what they should do, okay, see agriculture. Now, see, in fact, we're not demanding much from our government. We're not demanding much. Whosoever has to take over from the current government, we citizens, we're not demanding much. We're only demanding two major things. What you are demanding is protect the lives of your citizens. Let Nigerians be able to go back to their farmlands and cultivate without being scared of unaliving. Do you get the point? So we don't ask government for personal money. Like, as I am an individual, I can't just come and ask a government to come and give me money. Unless if I want to do investment that requires build a huge capital. But outside that, I don't need all those things. What I need to do is just grant me just freedom, grant me security, secure my life from those terrorists, from those bandits. That's all. So that if I want to go to my farm, I should be able to go to my farm, cultivate, plant things. When it is time for me to harvest, I should be able to go to my farm and harvest without any fear, without being scared. That is the point. That's what we are demanding. In major part of country today, in major part of Nigeria today, you can't go freely. All of them, they go with escorts, they go with security men, they go with sophisticated weapons by the military, they go with army, they go with police, they go with civil court, they go with all those DSS. So they have all those security men around them, spending millions, billions on their security details. But the masses we are meant to protect, their lives, they lose their lives every day. They lose their lives every day. Oh, I don't just want to go emotional, because sometimes, especially, I don't want to talk about the Christian genocide issues in Nigeria. They said there's no genocide. Why even U.S. government themselves, they have come. So I don't want to go to that aspect. So I don't want to touch that side. So let me just keep it for now, and just talk about this coming election, because it's all those things that people need to know. We Nigerians, we need to know, and then make our choices. Honestly, if we are able to get our leaders correct, if we are able to check the persons we vote into offices, then our problems are reduced drastically. We don't know that our not facing common problem with every other country. Yes, not every country is rich, and there's no country that everybody is rich. I don't think so. I don't think even the US we admire. All those top countries, I don't think that everybody is rich, but at least they are living okay. At least greater percentage are living above poverty level. All right. So, okay, if you put government in the hands of angels, it wouldn't matter. But we don't have angels. Okay. So we must design institutions that work with ordinary people. Thank you so much. You are getting the point. No, you are really following. You are getting the point. And that is what we are trying to do. Because, but again, sometimes those in the office, they were once common citizens, right? So you see, among the common ones, we still get those who go into those offices. So you see, like what you said, getting people from the circle who could understand, because even God himself, even Jesus Christ himself, when he was in the world, people were not pleased with him, with his works. So I got your point. So we still have people like Judas Iscariot who betrayed him. Even that he was Jesus, or rather, even he is Jesus, a savior, a Messiah, still he was betrayed by a servant, somebody among his circle, among his disciples. So I got your point. I got your point, and it's also inclusive in what I'm trying to let us know. We Nigerians, Nigerian youths, Nigeria is blessed with youths, both male and female. But again, if you check the recent record, if you check among countries that has lowest life expectancies, what I mean by life expectancies, that's the lifespan people could live. Nigeria is still one of them. Nigeria is still among the few countries that has the highest death rate. And when you check about those factors that made it to be so, you will see poverty. Poverty is very, very there. Nigeria is rich. I keep on saying it. Nigeria is very, very rich, but management of it is there. Then another one is see our hospitals. See our hospitals. Primary health centers, which should be the nearest and the commonest and the most friendly medical centers the citizens can have around them. Nigeria's own is not encouraging. Most of it are not anything you can write home about. You can't. If you go to most of them, they don't have even common first line of treatment to revive somebody. Okay, Mr. Yeka, just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Obviously, nothing. But again, I don't want to live will I say in assumption? I don't want to live in let me say in illusion, because what I say so, some persons Nigeria is doing well. In what aspects do you mind listening them? Mind you, I am from Nigeria too, and I'm not condemning my own country, but I must speak in areas that we need to get it right. I must say, now, let me tell you one thing in this. There's no country, I don't think there's any country that is not corrupt. But when you talk about corruption, corruption has levels. Corruption has levels. Whether you like it or not, you should, it is a fact. Corruption has levels. So you can't compare what we see. Okay, you can imagine currently, I don't know if you're a Nigerian, but if you're not, I may ask you, just Google about former Attorney General of Nigeria who is still under trial, a case with EFCC. So just check it. How can such one be under such trial? Yes, I know. There's no conclusion yet, either conviction or no conviction. But I'm only saying, and properties recovered from him. What the hell? Let me even tell us, most of Nigerians, most of our Nigerian politicians can't even live outside. They'll be arrested. They'll get arrested. But in Nigeria, we condone those things. EFCC recovered a lot of properties from an individual. Over 50 houses from an individual who's not a businessman, a politician, a former attorney general of a state, a former attorney general of a country. We still have other politicians who are still under the check of that security check, trying to know what thing. Those people, they believe that they can get their ways out with their money, with their resources. So the thing there is, most of politicians, they do things because they are in power and they can maneuver their things, they can pay any agents and get their way out. Can you tell me if that can happen in UK? Can you tell me if that can happen in US? But here we are, those things happening. Now let me give us an example. So, like as you said, which part of the world can we get somebody who can come as an angel to lead the country? So, permit me to use this person as an example. I want to use one of these major candidates in Nigeria called Peter Obi, His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, right? So this person, I mentioned his name now. You can Google his name. And maybe I will still be in this live. Then you, maybe you give me your reply on the comment section. I'll read it. If you Google his name, tell me corruption charges and corruption cases or convictions against him. Mind you, this person, I just mentioned his name, a Nigerian politician, is the only person among all these people that have never been dragged by misappropriation of funds or misuse of public fund. Meanwhile, he was a 2 times governor. That's for eight years. So he was a governor before coming for a presidential election. I don't know if you are getting the point. So now I'm not trying to say that he's a saint, but at least if all the politicians we have are like him, just check how Nigeria will be. If all our governors, both ex and present, if all of them are like him, just be sincere. Do you think that there will not be any difference in this our political system? Okay, let me read your comments. Okay, stop comparing Nigeria to the UK or the US, a country with over 500 tribes and 200 languages cannot be compared to nations with 1,000 years of civilization. Yes, you made a point, but coming to in terms of population, let me start with population. Nigeria is not more populated than US. I don't think. Am I mistaken? Am I mistaken? Nigeria is not more populated than US. Nigeria is 36 states. US is over 50-something states. Now, coming to language and then tribes, that is one of these are some of our problems in this country. In America, if you ask somebody your nationality, I'm American, then only if you now maybe go further to ask the person his or her own state. But come to Nigeria, when you ask somebody, you talked about tribes and languages. So now, that's why I refer to population, just at least in population, because when we talk about optimism in economy, you talk about population. When you talk about standard of living, you try to consider the population of the citizens. I don't know if you're getting it. The population of the citizens and sustainability. So that's what I'm coming from, that angle. So if US, who has more population, yes, you can tell me that they have developed many years back. I agree with you. They had their own difficult times they passed through. But are we going to, for how long did we get independence? We have celebrated, I think, over 50 years of independence. We got independence since 1960. So somebody who is over 50 years, is that still a kid? No. So at least think of it. Now, coming to Nigeria, you see these 2 points you mentioned, tribes. You ask what is independence? Let me tell us. I think independence, yes, at least to have a sovereignty of your own, having the sovereign power, at least the basic. I know that no country can survive without another country's own, but let me just use this one as a, will I say, just as a joke. Russia, sorry, I don't know. I try to avoid some words so that you two will not have any issue with my life, and maybe I cannot. But I think when you talk about Russia and Ukraine, the whatever thing that we're doing, which we want peace to reign, but Russia made the claim at the initial of the whole thing that even though no country comes in terms of aid, that they're not ready to beg for anything, not even for food, that they are ready for whatever thing they want to do. So at least for a country saying such comments, making such comments, you can see that they are not that poor. They are not that poor. They know something that is backing them up. They know something that is giving them that morale. But now let me say, like as I said, in terms of tribes in this country called Nigeria, yes, we are multi-tribes. We are multiple. Can Nigeria develop its own cars without sourcing parts from other countries? You are coming to my point. We are still together. And the answer I can give you is no. I can answer you. Your answer is no. You are getting my point. The point of independence is like as I am now. Let me say, the independence does not mean not to source for help from other countries. That one is there. Now, managing the sourcing of resources from other countries majorly depends on the capability of that leader. If the leader is somebody who doesn't even know his right from his left, can the person make such bilateral businesses and trade? Then definitely the person can't. So you must know the individuals you elect, people who have foresight. Do you know what cumulative culture is? Okay. Do you know how long it will take for a Fulani man to learn the Igbo man's trade? That's not even the problem, my brother. That's not the problem. You see, just the problem we have is not even those things. But I look very well, just observe very well. The problem we have are not even the citizens. When you come in terms of tribes and languages, the problem here are not the masses. Don't get it twisted. They are not the masses. When you talk about the language and tribe, the masses are not it. It's our politicians who cause those divisions to win elections. You may not believe with me, but I can tell you for free. It's only during election we now begin to hear Igbos. Igbos want to be president. Hausas want to be president. Yorubas want to be president. They will not cause those divisions. That is simple. Just study the political movement. Nigeria problem is not unique, okay? As Nigeria, we don't have a collective problem. Sorry, we have. I would disagree with you here. We have a collective problem. Just that the 2 points you mentioned, tribalism will not allow us to identify our common problems. And I can tell you that for free, our common problem is the government, the politicians. They are our common problem. During election, you can already see it during election. That is why I'm not against any Igbos voting for any tribe. I'm not against it. The only thing that we want is people. And I've always, of course, I'm a nationalist. I'm a nationalist, and I have friends across the tribes. So the individuals, like as I am, I can't be a problem in when it comes in terms of tribe, languages. No, because I know that I have a common problem with them. There's no place you will go today. If an Hausa man can go to a shop and buy this 1 naira, an Igbo man will go and then still buy it 1 naira. So cost of living are hard. So that is our common problem. That's our common problem. Not even the language. So those are our leaders that will always try to use when it comes in terms of politics. I believe you begin to observe currently now. They've already started that game of division. They've already started it. Just observe it. Observe it. Once it is during the election, they will now begin to know this person is from this side, this person is from this side. Now, the East, they will say, what I'm trying to say is that we have a collective problem. You say that we don't have a collective problem, and I'm trying to tell you we have a collective problem. That collective problem is the suffering caused by our leaders. We individuals, when it comes in terms of tribalism, that's a language, the people who try to instigate those things against us, to use to divide us, are the leaders. So you may not believe, but from my own observation, that is what I believe. That's what I have observed. You ask about leaders. Simple. The politicians. If you have listened to some of them, okay, or let's use articles. Let's just article in 2023. Article Abubakar in 2023, when he made some kind of a declaration. If you are not that the Arewas should support their own, why should that language come? To support their own, not support a good candidate of your choice, but support your own. I don't see a problem with that. So the individualism, selfishness is the problem. There are places where the masses are the problem. Then again, there are places where our leaders, the politicians, are the problem. That is it. And why they see it as problems when they now want a particular region to have more, because they believe that in the north, once you talk about politics in the Nigeria, those politicians will tell you that without north, nobody can win election in Nigeria. I don't know if you have had such statements from all those politicians, that without the north, nobody can win any presidential election in this country. So if you are not from north, so you can never be a president of the country. That is it. That's what the statement means. So for you to say that our leaders are not the problem in terms of that one, they are. It's only during election they will not begin to do that. Have you heard about what they call divide and rule? Okay, see, these people are your uncles and aunties. I can't doubt it. They are. I agree with you. But will it because of they are your uncles and your aunties and not speak up? They are your mom and dads? Of course. I'm not doubting it. I'm not. But again, should we keep on keeping muted because they are our uncles and our dads and our moms will not speak up? No, we have to let people know. Vote across tribe. Vote across languages. Languages, tribe shouldn't be a factor in during election. If I am a thief, that's if I'm not a